Uganda. I led the team to Kenya to learn from best practices. And so I'm surprised. And let me put on record that I've been very consistent that we need private sector participation at the distribution level, except that I disagreed with the format of the PDS, and I maintain that we can do it better. The ATC&C, I think it's about 23% for the technical, and the remaining is the commercial, which sums it up to the 40%. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
Mr.
you said
Speaker.
you have a follow-up.
Yes, a
question.
follow-up.
Okay, go ahead.
During transition, you were handed over with a KPMG report of the audit of the operations of ECG. And that report puts the figure at 37.7%. And if the committee will be guided, it is the product of the billing efficiency and the collection efficiency. Can you confirm that to the committee?
I was not handed over a KPMG report, but 37 and 40, the difference is not that much. But I wasn't handed over a KPMG report. I asked a direct question as co-chair to ECG, and they told me that the losses was around 40%. But if you have a KPMG report, I would like to read it to enrich my knowledge. Thank you.
Honorable Minority Leader has a follow-up question on that.
Honorable nominee, listening to your answer to Dr. Kabiru's question, the impression you create on our minds is that you are not against the privatization of ECG. From what you said, you are against the PDS in terms of the approach. So can you tell us then whether your government is for the privatization, the full privatization of ECG?
We believe that there should
Honorable
be...
nominee. Go ahead.
Thank you, Chairman. We believe there should be private sector participation. What we intend to do is to form a 7-member committee chaired by technical aspects, legal aspects, financial aspects, looking at best practices. Would the concession approach work or a full privatization work? We will stay off as politicians, let them get the framework in a more transparent, open, frank manner. Then when we get the buy-in of Ghanaians, then we can set the standards using an RFQ, an RFP, and then a competitive tender process. Let me make this clear. When it comes to the ECG private sector participation, competitive tender process with some element of private sector participation using local content, and then we set the KPIs so we make progress. And so we are clear in our minds what we intend to do. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you too. He has a further follow-up question.
Honorable nominee, so can you let us know the time frame for this engagement? Because Ghanaians will be anxious to know. What's the time frame you are looking at?
The preliminary work we have done is that my target is to push for 6 months, but I do not want to stampede the committee if I'm fortunate to get your approval. But give and take within, we should be able to do that because there are lessons that we've learned from the previous concession. And so that will be the building block. But like I said, we want to do that in a very transparent, open manner and get the best for this country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We now take a question from Honorable Asika Dongo.
Mr. Speaker, I've not... Okay.
Any questions? It's now the turn of Honorable Asika Dongo.
Thank you very much, Chairman. First, I want to congratulate my younger brother and to commend him for the speed with which he supported the president to resolve this issue. I've heard you mention some numbers. You said the bill we left was about $2.1 billion. and you translated that to about 9 billion Ghana cedis. But you said today is about 3 billion. Can you situate that in our reporting currency? What does that mean? $3 billion means what in cedis?
Mr. Chairman, when you use an exchange rate of, say, 15, that's 45 billion. So in Ghana cedi, we've moved from about 9 billion to 45 billion. It would have been worse. What is even kept it at the 45 billion is that another 45 billion has been collected on account of the Energy Sector Levies Act. So, but for the 45 billion that has accrued to the President Akufo-Addo government, the debt would have compounded, and that would have been much, much higher. But despite that, the debt today is about 45 billion Ghana cedi.
So in addition to the 45 billion cedis,
you are entitled to a question. I'm sorry. May I give the floor to Roxanne Nelson Dapamapo?
Chairman, thank you very much. Let me use the opportunity to congratulate my brother. We entered Parliament together. We worked together. And we constituted the famous 7. And I know that he will deliver. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Give the floor to Ajin Sam. One question.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and congratulations, JJ. I come from a rural area. Till date, there are communities that do not have meters. And therefore, I want to find out from you, what will you do to improve ECG revenue collection? And will you support a proposal to phase out all postpaid meters to prepaid ones?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, the ideal way, like you said, is to get prepayment meters, especially smart meters that can mimic all the requirements that you need. My meeting with ECG indicates that they have about 5.2 million meters. 4.8 are active. About 3 million of them are not working properly. So of the 4.8, 3 million meters are not working properly. So they will need to change a minimum of 2.9 million meters in order to satisfy the market. 2, like you said, people want meters. They are unable to get the meters. Technology is advancing. So we are exploring the possibility of selling the meters. Let people buy the meters. But through smart technology, we will license some people to install the meters. But you will need to send a code. Once you send a code in with mobile money, it's activated. And automatically, you are registered onto the system. Because sometimes it costs people more than 4 or 5 times to spend money to get a meter. So if we make it readily available and use economies of scale, I'm sure the price will come down. So it's something we are working on, and we intend to roll that out as soon as we get your nod. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's now the turn of Honorable Agnes Namumulate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Let me take the opportunity to also congratulate the Honorable Member on his nomination. There's something that is on the hearts and minds of most Ghanaians. And if we all have a way, we'll contribute to ensuring that it doesn't become a headache again. The issue of the inconsistency in the power supply, given the nod, what are you going to do? I have seen you do take some pragmatic steps to aid the president. In the long term, what will you do to ensure that our power and our electricity supply stays on? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Honorable nominee. What will you do to ensure our power stay on?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we have a current installed capacity of about 5,260 megawatts, a dependable capacity of about 4,800 megawatts. We've just hit a new peak demand of 4,100 megawatts. Our grid system is very, very resilient. We've upgraded a lot of our lines from 161 to 330 and 331 kVA lines. So they are quite robust with a lot of injection of primary substations. The first problem we need to address is the issue of fuel. Fuel supply is a major, major problem confronting the sector. Currently, we have a deficit of about 40 to 60 mm-scarf of gas. If you take the gas from ENI, gas from Jubilee 10, and then gas from N-gas, and you put all together, you still have a deficit. And so you've had to be depending on some level of light crude oil, some level of heavy fuel oil, and some level of distillate fuel oil. Our immediate objective will be to bridge that gap. We've met Jubilee partners, we've spoken to the partners and the operators, Talo, we've also spoken to Ghana Gas. They are currently doing 100 mm-scarf. We are confident that if they do some reconditioning, they can increase it to about 35 more, and that will give us a lot of buffer. So once we solve the fuel situation, and we have some liquid fuel reserves as a backup, we should be okay. The next one will be to deal with the financial challenges. I've gotten a letter from Car Power. We owe them $377 million. They are threatening to shut down. Talo over 100 million, they are threatening to cut back. ENI is threatening. So we need to deal with the financial challenge. So these two, if we can get them right, we should be home and dry. Last year alone, Ministry of Finance spent about 28 billion on energy sector related payments. That's more than your capital expenditure, including even your goods and services. So we have to look at how to drill down and bring about efficiency and be able to pay for what we consume. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Minority Leader, have a follow-up question.
Chairman, thank you so much. Honorable nominee, though on the letter was Minister of Energy, but if you look at the executive instrument, it's adding something to your portfolio. You are aware of that?
Leader, with the greatest respect, I've seen it, but I'm only a nominee.
No, I'm saying whether you are aware.
I'm aware.
We'll deal with it. We'll deal with it later. Let me go ahead with my follow-up question. So, on the 7th of January, 2025, I am reliably informed that on the said date, the light crude oil Ascent Power was for a period of 23 days. Do you agree to that?
Yes, Leader.
Very well. If it was for 23 days, as you agree, then are you equally aware that GMPC, which has a contract with Stratcon for the supply of 12 million liters of HFO, is still supplying this to AXA? You are aware?
I've checked on that, and GMPC has indicated that they don't have a contract with Stratcon to supply those liters. Thank you.
But do they take such supplies if they don't have such contract? Is there an arrangement where these supplies are delivered to them?
I've done my checks, and I can tell you that based on my check, there's no such arrangement.
Now, would you be surprised to hear that on the 6th of January, it's a follow-up on the 6th of January, they supplied 19,561 tons?
I will not be surprised, and that's one of the issues I intend to investigate when you approve me.
Okay.
It's a subject matter for investigation.
All right.
Thank you.
So have you become aware?
Leader, you know the rules. A follow-up question must not exceed a certain limit.
Yeah,
so I think If you wouldn't mind, I can give you the floor now to ask your questions.
Chairman, you see, the nominee, in response to Honorable Momo Latte's question, had made certain pronouncements. I only was breaking it down because I didn't want to put all together. I know I have to act within the rules. So please indulge me, most respectfully, sir. Indulge me. I only wanted to break it down, else I could have put all together as a composite question. I didn't want to do that because there are specific deliveries on certain dates. So please, bear with me. Since you are aware that on the 6th of January, 19,561 tons worth of HFO was supplied. But your issue is that there was no contract, so it will be investigated. But that was supplied.
No, I didn't say that, Mr. Chairman. I didn't say that.
Okay, no problem. Now, on the 8th, would you be surprised to hear that on the 8th January, to 44,124 was also supplied?
Mr. Chairman, with the greatest of respect, I need your guidance. Leader, I respect you. The leader is asking me whether I will be surprised to hear that fuel has been delivered. I thought he would have asked
Okay,
me a
no
question.
problem. Let me put it differently. Have you become aware that on the 8th of January, 44,124 tons was supplied?
Mr. Chairman, to answer this, on the 8th of January, this is official record, and I would respectfully make a copy available to the committee. And so the HFO issue you are talking of, on the 8th of January, Sen Power, light crude oil, 260,000, enough to cater for 23 days. Sinon Asogli, DFO, which is distillate fuel oil, 0. KTPP, distillate fuel oil, enough to cater for 1.5 days. Now the HFO. On the 8th of January, AXA, 440 meter cube, enough to cover for only 6 hours. So officially, I wasn't aware that some so-called 40,000 has been deposited. But let me be quick to say that the next day, I got to know that...
I don't want to take back. Please, can you avoid the use of the word so-called? I mean, just not to...
I'm sorry,
cause
Leader,
controversy.
I'm sorry. Thank you for the guidance.
You know, you've done well so far.
Leader, thank you. So on the 9th of January, I got information that some people were discharging some heavy fuel oil into the tanks at AXA. And already the Chief of Staff had tasked me to lead a technical team to avoid this looming challenge in respect of these shortages of fuel. And like I told you, on the 8th of January, we had only 6 hours. In fact, they said that taking even the minimum requirement, it could last for only 5 hours. When I heard of it, I inquired. And then the AXA MD told me that some people had come to deliver HFO. I asked him on whose authority. Leader, with the greatest of respect, I do not want to mention people's name here, and you know why. I made it clear to them that those people were no longer in office, and they had no mandate on the 9th of January to issue orders to him to receive those fuels. I called ECG was not aware. I called VRA, they were not aware. I called the ministry, Solomon is here, they are not aware. I called GMPC, they are not aware. So I advised the chief director to ask for a cessation of the delivery. And we report to Chief of Staff. It's a matter of further investigation. On an assumption of office, with your kind leave, we shall investigate that matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So they delivered it or they couldn't deliver at all? Are we in receipt of that at the time you became aware?
As far as I'm concerned, officially, government is not in receipt of any such delivery. They were in the process of delivery, but without any authorization to deliver, we thought that they should hold on and let's do what is right and proper. Thank you.
So the 5 hours that you put out, as compared to the 23 days that you initially, no, I won't ask.
Okay. Leader, take the floor, take the floor.
So the 5 days that was originally out, you know, when the inauguration took place at the Independence Square, the media reported that you had alleged or you had said that we had only some 5 days of fuel. 5 hours, yes, 5 hours. Considering the fact that in your answer to me, you had indicated that SemPower had fuel that could last us for 23 days. Would you want to reconcile the 5 hours and the 23 days, or would you want to shed some more light on it for clarity's sake?
Mr. Chairman,
Honorable nominee.
there's nothing to reconcile. I was specific. I said we have 5 hours of HFO. And it's true. We had 5 hours of HFO. I said we had 0 hours of DFO for Sidona Sogli. And it's true. I gave a breakdown, but I don't develop the headlines. I don't write the stories. The recording is there. And the truth is that we have 5 hours of HFO. And if there's any problem with gas supplies, we are going to lose as much as 370 megawatts in 5 hours' time, which will lead to load shedding. And so as far as I'm concerned, that is a fact. Thank you.
Honorable Shabu, it's now your turn. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, let me use the opportunity to congratulate my younger brother for this great feat, a position well deserved. Mr. Chairman, listening to the honorable nominee, the biggest challenge he's coming to face. Of course, let me put on record that the ministry you left 8 years ago, you will not meet the same thing when you get there tomorrow. You have said it. The energy sector debts alone is so enormous. Now, we've zeroed down to various. Now, in the value chain, you have a very critical player there, which is ECG, which unfortunately is the weakest link. And that's the reason why we have these challenges. To quote your own words, the power is produced and delivered. It is sold, but the revenue is not collected as efficiently as we can. Clearly, it boils down to accountability and efficiency. Now, you have also zeroed down to the fact that you are not averse to privatization. Indeed, His Excellency, when he met the World Bank a week ago, representatives, he made it clear that privatization was the way to go. Would you consider, taking into account, we have been preaching about local content, would you consider looking at institutional investors like SNET, like NAT, and the rest? Would you consider them when you want to do the privatization?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Most taking up shares and getting a technical competent company, even from outside, it means that there will be a lot of value retention. The main problem with ECG is not just the collection, but even how they spend or administer what they collect. They collect on average about 1.3 billion cedis every month. Only 850 million or 900 million goes into the cash waterfall mechanism. So what it means is that almost 400 million does not find its way into the cash waterfall mechanism because they've signed all kinds of contracts. Yesterday at the meeting, it came to light that they have 2,500 containers sitting at the ports. Contracts worth 9 billion has been signed. And because the containers are sitting at the port, demurrage alone is 1.2 billion. So beyond the collection, we also have to drill down on efficiency and ensure that they stick to the cash waterfall mechanism. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May I give the floor to Honorable Umar?
Thank you, Chairman. Nominee, I want to use this opportunity to congratulate you, and I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you. It's the turn of Michael Edu. Edu. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Edu and Edu.
Mr. Chairman, the name is Edu. Thank you very much. A-I-D-O-O.
What's the spelling of Edu?
A-D-U. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead with your question.
Thank you. Honorable nominee, congratulations. Looking at your CV with your experience and vast background in the energy sector, I believe you'll be conversant with the questions I'm going to ask. One of the major challenges...
Are you saying questions?
Yes.
Please, you are entitled to a question.
Okay. One of the major challenges in the downstream petroleum sector is the issue of forex. And on the 11th of January 2023, you published a post on Facebook, which you said that the G4O, that's the good for oil policy, was opaque, clandestine, and a charade. And then you also said that it's going to promote smuggling of gold across Ghana's borders. And then in the same post, you said from our analysis, it is obvious this policy is not well thought through. Now, Mr. Nominee, I believe after your nomination, you've had cause to meet the management from BOST and MP and other stakeholders in the industry. Upon hindsight, do you still hold the same opinion? And then if you are given the nod to lead the ministry, what will be your position on the good for oil? Taking into consideration that most of the importers who are bringing fuel to Ghana, one of the issues they look at is the issue
Honorable
of...
member, his position on gold for oil. Is that not the question?
I'm not done, Chairman. I'm not done. Chairman, I'm rounding up. Chairman, respectfully, I'm rounding up.
Is that the question I'm asking?
No,
is
I'm
that
not
the
done.
question?
The question is coming.
So, what do you mean by what is your position on gold for oil?
It's the same question, so let me round up. Thank you, Chairman.
Well, I will forgive you because you are a first-timer.
Importers consider the issue of forex as an issue when dealing with BOST. And the good for oil came to mitigate that issue. And there is scarcity of forex. And in a month, we need about 400 million USD to import petroleum products. So what would be your position policy and forex for importers.
Question is what is
And during that process, I became unsatisfied issue relating to the energy sector, but that your capacity to think on your feet and devise solutions.
I've observed that there are
soldiers, but they are here to support and give moral soldiers, but they are here to support and give moral support.
Then they shouldn't be
to
clapping.
the district. So it's
Chairman,
our
they shouldn't
best.
be doing that.
So all you need to do is to inform them that here we don't clap, but
Okay,
we say
here we don't clap.
Here.
No, they can't even say here because they are not part. They are not part of us. They are not. They cannot even say here.
Honorable members, the word foot soldier should be expunged from the record. Can we make progress, honorable members? It's expunged from the record with the apology from the chair. Thank you very much. Can we have some order? Order. Let's have order. It's now the turn of Honorable Charles Forson. Charles Forson, you have the floor.
Mr. Chair.
What? You finish. I thought you finished. Well, may you continue. Please conclude.
So, on the basis of my observations, I have no questions for you because I know you will answer all the questions satisfactorily. I can only wish you well and assure you of the support of this House. And I believe that you definitely will make a mark in the energy sector of Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Charles Forson. One question, please.
Mr. Chairman, Honorable Nominee, my good friend. This is from the good people of Tamacentra and the management and staff of TOR. A direct question. What is there for TOR? And also, we do extract crude, but yet we have refining corporations here, and they are begging for certain parcels to be given to them, whilst they go out to struggle for dollar. What is the way forward? Thank you.
Well, honorable member, is your question saying what is there for TOR or what he intends to do for TOR?
The plan. He understands it.
Honorable nominee, you may answer the question the way you understand it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable members, you may be aware, there's a Petroleum Revenue Management Act. And when you take crude within a stipulated period of time, you have to pay the money into the Petroleum Holding Fund. So for a refinery to take that refinery must satisfy that condition. TOR is a hydra-headed problem. It's a 45,000 barrel capacity refinery. The norm is that these days people are moving to huge refineries. If you take Gamnaja, it's I think 1.2 million. Dangote is 650,000, and it's even number 7. So 45 is quite small, but our objective is to seek a strategic partner, ring-fence the liabilities, and then use the assets as our capital injection and look for a strategic partner who is prepared to also inject some money. Normally, you need a staff of about 250 for such a refinery. Currently, the staff are over 700. So these are issues that we'll have to sit and see how we can deal with them so that we'll bring the refinery back. Because since 2021, 4 years now, the refinery has not been working. And something must be done about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I will now give the floor to Honorable Yao Patrick Boama.
Thank you very much. Let me congratulate my very, very, very good brother, JJ. Congratulations. JJ, a lot of questions have been asked of you on the downstream. Let me take you to the upstream sector. And I'm sure, as a man who grew up in Mampong, you know about the Vettig Basin program. I know you've been briefed by the ministry and officials from GMPC about the program around Mampong Agogo area. What do you know of the Vettig Basin program, and how do you intend to add value to what your predecessors did, and how you intend to ensure that it comes on full stream to add to the revenue base of the country in the energy sector? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You are right, because in the upstream sector, crude oil volumes are declining rapidly. From a peak of 71 million barrels in 2019, 2023, we did only 48 million. So there's a sharp decline of 32%. And if nothing is done, the upstream sector will collapse. In the Vettig Basin, I'm told they've shot or shoot some 2D seismic data. I'm also told that they've done some parcels of allocation, which ought to come to Parliament. I intend that we'll review that immediately, within days or weeks. If I get your nod and I'm sworn in. If we review them and we find those agreements satisfactory, we'll immediately come to Parliament. We should relook at 919. All our neighbors, their current and participating interest is 10%. And as we move through the energy transition, you must quickly tap your stranded assets. So we will do a stakeholder engagement and get a buy-in of Ghanaians and incentivize the upstream players to invest, because it's very expensive. And that is something that we intend to pursue aggressively, even as we go through the energy transition. Thank you.
Very much. Any further question?
Yes, Minister, this is also on the upstream sector, which has seen some little or no investment in the sector. And I want you to tell Ghanaians some of the strategies you want to put in place to attract some of the big players in the upstream sector, like ExxonMobil. They came in and left to Guyana. We all know the issues around it. So what are some of the steps that your good self will be putting in place? You just mentioned that you are going to Dubai to meet with Letasco. And we want to find out what strategies you are going to put in place to attract some of the big players, since investment in that sector has gone down a bit. Thank you.
Thank you. So first is the incentives. We have a standard incentives for all the fields. That cannot work, because you have deep water, you have ultra deep, and you have shallow water. It's more expensive and technologically demanding to do deep water. So the incentives for deep water should be different from that for shallow water. Then the acreage, the size. Our information is that it's too small, so we need to increase it. And some other incentives, but more importantly, is the posturing of government. These legal cases that we are losing in court, it hurts us a lot. The first option should be to negotiate. ENI went to court, we lost. Talo went to court, we lost. GPGC went to court, we lost. Sahara went to court, we lost. It's just one too many. So we intend to sit around the table and dialogue. The trip we're meeting Luke Oil to work on the Peckham field with AFC and the others. So the first option is to try and sit around the table, find out the real problems, and try to resolve them. I'm sure some of these basic interventions, if we can put them right, we can turn the clock around and attract the oil majors. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further questions?
Yes,
But before then, little or no investment on part of government of the Republic of Ghana. Is that the understanding?
No. Chairman.
Not necessarily, Chairman. That's why we have SPLOCO. And SPLOCO is the commercial wing of GMPC.
Very well.
Which must take a stake
Very
in some
well.
of these fields.
Just for you to clarify the point. Thank you very much.
Chairman, you have been...
Last question.
You are playing the liberal role very well. You are now the Mike Lacian of the caucus or committee.
So I'm no longer a striker. I'm now playing a libero.
JJ, I'm used to JJ, sorry. Honorable Minister Designate, my last question. What are your primary objectives, or what do you want the country to remember you for? Within the next 4 years, I pray to God you are not reshuffled in the energy sector, that during John Jinapo's era, issues of power theft, issues of transmission losses, no meter, arbitration issues in the power sector. What do you want Ghanaians to remember you for within the next 4 years as one of the youngest ministers of energy in the Republic of Ghana? I wish you the very best, my good friend. Thank you.
To the convoluted question.
Mr. Chairman, I must admit that it's a very difficult job. And as I get a briefing every day, I'm reminded that I'm stepping into a very, very difficult job. I want to remember it as a young minister who insists on discipline. And I tell you, I will insist on discipline. I know we'll step on some toes, but we'll step on those toes gently. More importantly, honesty. And then I want to approach this work with integrity, hard work, but with humility. My best. I know it's difficult. But I'm confident. Those of you on this table, I'll consult all of you and do what is right and proper. But let me make it clear that we'll ensure that there's debt.
My good friend, our principal voice on energy-related matters, I must say the caucus is proud of you. You have been an excellent choice for our caucus on energy. And I have no doubt the president got that right by nominating you. I don't have a question for you. All I have to say is that those of us who dwell in the villages, in the past 4 years particularly, many of us anticipated extension of electricity to cover many of our villages, to take advantage of the new ICT revolution in the world. We never got it because we don't have power. So if you were to give us laptops, those laptops in many of our communities are not used in the schools because we can't charge them. And so I also noticed that a colleague has already raised it. Many communities we all share have problems where a whole half of the town uses 1 meter. And they don't benefit from the thresholds you build to support vulnerable people because their consumptions have gone beyond what was anticipated, not because they are individually consuming more than they are consuming, but because they are clustering around 1 meter. I just want to remind you of this and say that the rural people have trust that you can make an intervention that brings electricity to their communities. And also those who have electricity also can have the meters they deserve, so everybody can take responsibility for whatever he consumes and pay rightly for it, so we can mitigate these unreasonable distribution loss, which is piling up the debt that we all have. So I wish you very well, and I have no doubt you will excel with the support of the caucus, the parliament, and the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the compliment. It's now the turn of Honorable Deputy Leader.
Very much, Honorable Jinapo, and I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate you for your nomination as the Minister Designate for Energy. I'd like to commence this interrogation by going through your CV On item number 6, V, item number 6V, I noticed that you've been the chairman for Nuclear Energy Program Implementing Organization. As a minister designate, I know that you have been adequately informed about the progress so far made in trying to introduce the use of nuclear power in the country. If you don't mind, if you can apprise us as other people in the country are listening to you of where we are with the promotion of the use of nuclear power and what will be your commitment to ensure that the future in the next 4 years will be commencing the implementation of the nuclear power. Thank you.
It's now the turn of Honorable Deputy Majority Leader.
Yes, to answer the question.
Please provide answer to the question.
Thank you.
Have a follow-up question. Okay.
Thank you. Deputy Leader, it's true, I chaired NEPIO. At my last briefing, they've identified 2 sites. They've also identified 2 countries, China and the USA, and they've identified 2 technologies. The bigger nuclear plant, which can give you about 1,200 to 1,400 megawatts, and the modular plants, which gives you just 100, 100, 100, 100. And so in South Africa, they use what they call pebble bed. So the option is to look at the smaller ones. They are easier to manage, they are modular, and they can deal with them. But like you said, I asked them a specific question. Can we switch power on before we leave office? And nuclear has serious milestones. And so the information I have is that the earliest we can get power from nuclear in 6 years. That is, even if we tick all the boxes, it's on our table, except that our approach is different. We believe that with BUI power and VR, so that you have something like Ghana and bring about efficiency. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do I get that understanding that currently the VRA is responsible for both the hydro and gas? Does it mean that you are leaving everything for them for both BUI and VRA and will be operating alongside if you are having just one company as an energy? Thank you.
Consolidate them and then increase specialization and efficiency. Because people at BUI, there are some renewable guys at BUI There are some hydro people at VLA. They're also doing renewables. So why don't we bring all the renewable people under one umbrella so that their expertise is renewables, especially as the ministry more on green transition. Then the hydro, bring all the hydro technicians under one so that procurements and all that consume more gas, reduce the losses, and increase the resilience of the grid. When you do that, resilience of the grid, when you do that, you make a lot of savings and losses and increase the resilience of the grid. When you do that, you make a lot of savings, and as you make the savings, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations in advance. Thank you. Congratulations in advance. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. One question.
Yes, Honorable Nominee, this is not really a question. Ghana lost the case. I just wanted to get a clarification whether perhaps you slipped or I didn't hear you correctly. Because I know for a fact that in that international arbitration, the tribunal dismissed the 950 million claim against GMPC and Ghana. So I just wanted, for the records, maybe I didn't hear you right in your earlier response,
Accusation from government. He and I went to the Court of Arbitration that government did not follow due process for compensation in terms of monetary compensation. So the first issue of government issuing that directive, as far as I'm concerned, he and I had his way, is the next leg, which is to say compensate me, that the Court of Arbitration thought that there was no need to compensate them. But the substantive issue of the directive, the Court of Arbitration has insisted. And because of that, Springfield has now drilled a well. And we are waiting for the results of the appraisal to determine the way forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You are bringing out an important matter. Are you saying that in the issue 1, where the Court of Arbitration, the tribunal agreed with the issue raised by ENI, it resulted in any financial loss to the state? Or it resulted in any... No,
Honorable Minority Leader, the nominee never said that.
Wait.
He explained
Chairman, let me put...
the two legs of
Chairman,
the decision.
Chairman, wait. The public is listening and watching. So I just want us to have clarity. according to you, the compensation bit, their claim was dismissed, which is a matter of public record. But then you are also telling us that there was an issue as to decisions that government had taken and whether or not those decisions were right. You are saying that their question on those decisions was upheld by the tribunal. My question then to you is this. Was there any costs to government as a result of that relief? Was there any loss to the state as a result of that relief? That is what I wanted to know.
So in simple terms, the only loss would be that the state was directed to make some payments in respect of legal matters. So, for instance, if you go to court, the cost of arbitration, the cost for legal services, the state was directed to pay that. Whether that is cost or not, I'll leave it for you, the lawyers. But I'm saying that this is what the court decided. I don't want to put interpretation on whether those payments constitute costs or not, because I'm not a lawyer and I do not want to step into that arena. Thank you.
Honorable nominee, I will land on this very important point. You see, we are talking about a ruling of a tribunal, a judgment, the outcome of a case. I don't want us to be rhetorical about it or be hypothetical or whatever. What is a fact remains a fact. Was there any order made against government in that arbitration? And if so, and you have reference to that, can you tell us exactly the orders that were made against the government of Ghana in GMPC? Respectfully, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable nominee.
Thank you. So, government of Ghana issued an order that two parties unitize. So let's put it in single terms. It says that male and female marry. That's the order from the father. Then one party goes to court and says that no, government is wrong. You can't just ask us to marry. You are jumping the gun. And arbitration upheld that and says the government was wrong in asking the two parties to marry or unitize. That's all. It's as simple as that.
Thank you very much. It's now the...
Chairman, please, let me read.
Honorable,
question. I'm giving
Honorable Leader.
Chairman, please, this is a
I'm
legal
taking
matter.
your words.
Yes,
that
I'm not asking
you have
a question.
asked
Chairman, it's not
the
a question.
last question.
Yes, I have. Chairman, please, it's for all of us. Please. Yes, it's for all of us. Colleagues, let's get this. I would read.
Where are you even reading from in the first place?
Chairman, with respect, I'll provide you.
Where are you reading from?
Chairman, I'm reading from the website of, yes, I know. I am reading from the website of City FM, which
so
website
that
is hosting.
Is your authentic source from which you can pick a judgment.
Wait, it is hosting the ruling. Website hosts the ruling, and it's quoting the full ruling. It's not their write-up. I just want to read out. The tribunal denied the claimants, ENI and Vitor, their monetary damages, which initially stood at $7 billion, but were later reduced to $950 million plus interest by the end of the proceedings. The tribunal dismissed all claims against GMPC entirely. Additionally, the tribunal rejected the claimant's request to declare that Ghana breached petroleum agreement by refusing to withdraw or prevent reliance by third parties on the unitization directive. The tribunal also dismissed the claimant's request for Ghana to notify the High Court, Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court of Ghana that the unitization directives were issued in breach of the petroleum agreement. I mean, this is a matter that I'm lifting directly from the ruling. I just want to bring it to our collective attention. So I'm just saying that there was no such claim, such order made against any of the respondents from the ruling.
Well, we'll take your words. Be brief. Be brief.
I'm putting it out as a fact.
Be brief, Honorable Nominee.
Honorable Fanyabaka, it does appear that maybe because you were in a hurry to read, you jumped one line. Let me just read that for you.
Please go about.
However, The tribunal find that in the circumstance in which they were issued, the unitization directive breached the petroleum agreement. Simple. It's on the City FM thing. It's there. The very one you are reading. It's there. I didn't say it.
Colleague, I will not want to, which is a legal matter. The
So
last
I'll
I
leave
will
it
do.
for you. I
No,
won't
no.
debate
The
you.
last I will do is to trade my profession. I will not. I will not. I am reading up to the end. I am reading up to the end. Respectfully, it reads that the tribunal dismissed all claims against the GMPC entirely. In the minimum, my law is okay. Additionally, the tribunal rejected the claimant's request to declare that Ghana breached the petroleum agreement by refusing to withdraw or prevent reliance by third parties on the unitization directives. The last paragraph. And I'm not running away from any paragraph. I wouldn't want to put my reputation on the line on this. The last paragraph reads, the tribunal also dismissed the claimant's request for Ghana to notify the High Court, Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court of Ghana that the unitization directives were issued in breach of the petroleum agreement.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for the education. Once you give me the nomination, I'll consult the Attorney General. The Attorney General will guide me. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much. In the midst of the disagreement, I'll give the opportunity to Honorable Ayariga to read what he's also having. Please go ahead and read.
No, it's not about opening the Pandora's box. Why? He's read something he claims to be the outcome of the litigation. This is the report. It says that Ghana has suffered a setback in an international arbitration case concerning its attempts to unitize offshore oil fields, but avoided potentially significant financial damages. So there were two issues. Ghana sought to get them to unitize. And in that respect, Ghana suffered a loss because the court did not agree with Ghana. But then Ghana avoided financial loss, that is payment of damages or any compensation. And that is exactly what he has reported. So please, why? You can read from a website, and I cannot read from a website. Please, it's here.
Reading from the website.
We're all reading from the website.
Yes.
It's here. You can
So,
come.
honorable members,
I'm giving it to you. Take it.
we can
Take
allow
it.
the
If
contradictions
you have any doubts, you can take it and read it.
in the publications at the website to. So we make progress. Honorable Deputy
Chairman,
Majority Leader, you have your turn.
Chairman.
Minority Leader,
Chairman,
I plead
Chairman,
with you
yes,
with all
Chairman,
due
I'm
respect.
pleading with
Let
you.
us not argue
Chairman,
the
Chairman, I
veracity
will
or
not-
other words of the various publications
Chairman,
that you are relying upon.
Chairman,
So,
Chairman, please oblige me.
Honorable
Chairman,
Leader, let
Chairman,
us be
please,
guided
Chairman,
by
I
the
will.
provisions of the Constitution in
Chairman.
Article 78 and
Chairman,
94. I beg you.
Chairman,
I've
Chairman.
given the floor
Chairman,
to Honorable Deputy Leader.
Chairman,
Honorable Minority Leader, I have given the floor to Honorable Deputy
Chairman,
Majority Leader.
Chairman.
I may come back to you. So please,
Chairman,
please, I may come back to you.
Okay, Chairman.
I may come back to
Chairman,
you.
Chairman,
Please,
with that said, I will rest my case
Yes.
to allow
So,
you.
Honorable
We come
Amabua.
back. And deal with this
Amabua.
matter. Thank you.
Yes, what is?
People are watching us. Right from the beginning, the respected minority leader kept asking to be indulged. He would end his presentation and ask for just a small opportunity to make one point. This thing, indulge me. And even when you give opportunity to somebody to speak, he will make sure that you give him the opportunity. Right now, his 10 has passed. I didn't expect you to say that when the Honorable Boa finished, you're going to give him another opportunity. He will start
Honorable member, I know what I am doing. So please, it's now the turn of Honorable Boa.
Today, we beg you.
Honorable Boa, you have the floor.
Honorable John Abdullah Jinapo, congratulations. You first work in the Ministry of Energy as my deputy, and I am very, very proud of you. I think that you are sitting in that chair because you were dedicated, you focused on humility, and worked your way up. You became our ranking and you led a team very, very well. And so there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to be a very successful energy minister. I have 3 things that I want to guide you. You may not even answer them. But you know that the upstream sector is in complete disarray. With all the big players gone, oil production has declined over 37% and continuing. The last 8 years, the 3 producing fields that we brought on stream, nothing has been added. You talked a lot about the challenges and the court cases you've lost. And so I hope that will really engage your attention and the strategies to increase oil production and bring the big boys back. And I know that you've talked about that. We need to really and make sure we get gas security. That is the key to the energy sector. And I'm very sure that you focus on that as well. I think you've talked about the indebtedness. I'm sure you will tell us that when we were leaving power, how much we left in debt. And whether or not it's true that we left $5 billion. The issue of renewable energy in an energy transition is critical, and that's probably why the energy sector is now energy and then the transition. And so I believe that you really add the issue of renewable energy as well. The last point is the issue of SML and all the transparency that came up. I believe that we will look into that issue and address it so it doesn't happen again.
The only thing I've learned from him is hard work. And so I thank him very well. Thank you.
Thank you. Any closing remark from the minority? We've come to the end.
Chairman, we experience ups and downs. We experience ups and downs in this. I believe that the matter that came up, we would have another opportunity to discuss it on the floor. And I would also want to plead with colleagues that if you didn't get the opportunity to raise any issue by way of question, the next stage of this pre-approval process would be the debate on the report of the committee. So you would have the opportunity to raise all other issues for Hansard to capture your views. On that note, Chairman, I would want to thank you for indulging us on these 2 nominees, and we see what next to be done. Thank you so much indeed, Chair.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. Let me use the opportunity to sincerely thank the nominee for attending upon the committee and providing answers to questions posed. That Honorable Minister Designate, you will surely hear from the committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm most grateful.
Well, then you are discharged. We then.
No, wait before, don't call him.
Call to order. May I have the pleasure to inform you that in the August House, our guests of the nominee who are here to give him a moral support. Forgive me if I do not mention the names correctly. Aigbe man is being called upon to mention names of people from Zwanrugu. We have Zwanrugu Paramount Chief, Naba Biliya Maltinga Afegara III, with his divisional chiefs of Kaiti, Naba Azangzi Yuri, and the Zangdana, Naba Ayamga, with the secretary to the chiefs, Alhaji Abubakari. We also have Madam Victoria Asingri, an auntie to the nominee, Rose Biringzaya Aine Esquire, son of the nominee. We have Mr. Tony Lita Esquire, partner, Lita Brew and Co., law firm, friends, and Ame Efa, friends and classmates. We have Miss Charlene Maxwell, businesswoman, a friend to the nominee. We have constituency executives of Orokantanga East constituency, led by the chairman, Mr. Azik Ayalato Azuri. We have a commissioner of police, Patrick Akolgo, senior brother of the nominee. We have lawyers from Ayene and partners, led by lawyer Godwin Aduji Kojo Tamaklo, the nominee's partner in chamber. We have Chief of Bare, Nab Nyakora Manti, and Chief of Dagari, Nab Kangampuya. We also have Suebutu Adam, Chief Director, Attorney General's Office. We have Chief of Kantia. Honorable guests, you are most welcome to the committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I'm talking about the guests.
Oh, the guests, thank you.
Yes. Oh, other, the wise man, former and a member of the Constituent Assembly, Honorable Cletu.
What is Constituent Assembly? What is Constituent Assembly? That's the net.
Well, they want me to say they drafted the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. Honourable members, I welcome the nominee for the position of the Attorney General and Minister responsible for justice. The minority leader and the ranking member, whether he has some preliminary observations. Thank you very much.
Honorable nominee, thank you for being here. I think I'm hearing from colleagues that they want you to take the oath before we make the comment. If it pleases the chairman, I may want to yield to that. So you take the oath, and then after that.
Please go ahead, make your comment. We'll take the oath and proceed with the questions.
Well,
This is
Chairman, thank you. I note from the letter that, and just help with the proper designation. The undated letter, the on reference letter from the Jubilee House has your name as a third person, Dr. Dominic Akuritinga Ayene, MP. And it says that Minister Designate, Attorney General, and Ministry of Justice. I thought, I'm not too clear. Is it supposed to be Attorney General's Department and Ministry of Justice?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In accordance with the designation in the Constitution, the Constitution says that there shall be an Attorney General who shall be a Minister of State. And so the correct designation is Attorney General and Minister of Justice, not Minister of Justice. I think that was a mistake.
But in the opening, it says Minister Designate, comma, Attorney General and Ministry of Justice. So I'm asking that the Minister Designate, comma, should it have been Attorney General's Department and Ministry of Justice?
Honorable members, preliminary comment doesn't take the form of questions to nominee. So I would plead with the Honorable Minority Leader that if his preliminary comment is in the form of a question, then you can hold it. When we get to question time, then you look at the document and pose a question to the nominee. Thank you very much. Apart from the Minority Leader, no member of the committee or a friend to the committee has a right to make a preliminary comment. Can we proceed to swear the witness in?
Chairman, if you don't want it that way, I think I would go by that for you. So it's an observation. Learned Attorney General, I'm sure as your colleagues, we know what you stand for, and we want to assure you that the exercise we will undertake this evening will be done in utmost good faith and with utmost respect to you. Please, your practice has taught you that when you get an adversary, a witness in the witness box, you do all you can, but it's not to be taken personal. That you're already aware. So I just want you to take your emotions out of the exercise we are going to do and see yourself as a witness in the box that we are cross-examining you. And we as counsel would not mean any ill fate for you. We don't mean any harm, but to do our work and do it well. So I just want you to bear that in mind, even before you take your oath for us to proceed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Minority Leader will always warn me that we should not take a witness in a box to answer questions by way of vetting or inquiry. As a witness under cross-examination and at the trial, committee clerk, please swear the witness in.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, I hereby leave you to take the oath.
I, Dominic Akuritinga Ayene,
Swear by the Almighty God
swear by the Almighty God
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
that the evidence I shall give before this committee
touching the matter in issue shall be the truth, the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, the Minister Designate for Attorney General and Minister for Justice. As usual, we'll start the questions from the subject matter committee members from the minority. Menchia South, Bafo, Honorable Bafo.
Thank you very much, Mr.
You have
Chairman.
the floor.
Dr. Ayini, welcome to the committee. And I'd like to congratulate you for your nomination. As for the approval, it's yet to be done, so I'm constrained. We know ourselves from practice, even though you are my senior at the bar. We cross swords in the case of Henry Nana Boakye versus Attorney General, when you were the Deputy Attorney General. And subsequently, we found ourselves in the same aisle in the case of the Republic versus Dr. Kwabena Dufo and 8 others, when you were the initial attorney. So welcome. Doc, of particular concern to me is what I find in the your party's manifesto, which is titled Resetting Ghana 2024. At page 142, you have stated that you will establish the regional tribunals provided under Article 142 of the Constitution and pass a law to reintroduce the community and circuit tribunals, first established under the Courts Act 1993, Act 459, but abolished under the Courts Amendment Act 2002, Act 620. It is of concern to me because we all know what the tribunals did. In fact, the literature which captures the footprints of the tribunals is in abundance. And I have in my hand the African Watch report on human rights. African Watch report, volume 4, issue number 1. This is what it says about the tribunal. Dated 31st of January 1992. This is what it says of the tribunal. That
the literature that you are quoting, what is the source of it? Who is the writer?
it is the report of Human Rights Watch, a human rights organization.
Human Rights Watch.
Yes.
From Human Rights Organization.
Yes, please. I have copies
proceed.
here. I can give the committee copies if my.
Well, I just want to know the source. Have you mentioned the source? Proceed to ask your question.
Okay. So it was abundantly clear that during one of the problems with the tribunal system was its disregard for human rights, such as refusing accused persons the right
to even call witnesses sometimes. By the way, the jurisdiction of the tribunals was criminal jurisdiction. It was also noted for delays. It was also noted for delays. It had no regard whatsoever for the laws of this country, to the extent that as a result of the decisions of tribunals, our mothers were punished through caning.
Honorable member, question.
Mr. Chairman.
Honorable member, you are a lawyer.
It is very important.
Honorable member, I am asking a question. You are a lawyer.
Mr. Chairman, very respectfully, both of us practice at the bar.
Yes.
And so the question, Mr.
So,
Chairman, is...
So you know very well that the literature that you are reading doesn't take primacy over the constitutional provision relating to the tribunal.
Mr. Chairman, the constitutional provision relating to tribunal, Article 142, has to do with just regional tribunals. It is not related to district and community tribunals. So, Mr. Chairman, I need to give context to my question. So if you allow me, very respectfully, it's in the interest of the public.
Let's proceed and ask your question.
Mr. Chairman, so what the tribunal did, we are all aware. Indeed, when you look at the National Reconciliation Report, it captured extensively.
With all due respect, go straight and ask your question. You have laid enough foundation for your question.
Mr. Chairman, I think that if you allow me, the nation will be interested.
You don't argue with the chair.
Mr. Chairman, this is not an argument, Mr. Chair. I'm only asking that you indulge me so I lay the right foundation and ask the right
You've been
question.
directed by the chair to proceed to ask your question, so do exactly the same.
In fact, in 2002, when the bill to abolish the district and regional tribunals was laid, one of the things that were captured in the Hansard, dated 18th March 2002, was that it was being abolished because of the breaches of human rights and also the cost associated with it. Honorable nominee, the question I want to ask you is that why do you want to reintroduce something which is associated with the dark past of this country? Why do you want to reintroduce it? What is it that our ordinary courts, regular courts, cannot provide in terms of the criminal jurisdiction of this country that you want to revisit and bring back the tribunals? Why?
Your microphone should be one of. But honorable member, did the nominee said anywhere that he wants to abolish the tribunal system? Because your question is, why are you saying?
No, I'm referring to the NDC's manifesto.
Very well, very well.
I refer to it.
Because what I heard was, why are you saying?
No, you means the NDC.
So you are now saying, why is the NDC having in the manifesto to do ABCD? Then we'll all be clear.
Mr. Chair, unless you want to separate the nominee from the NDC.
No, he's here as
the nominee is in the belly of the NDC. If
you are asking a question in relation to his party's manifesto, you said so. Leader asked a lot of questions in relation to the manifesto. He expressly stated that, according to your manifesto, this is what you are saying. But if you said, why are you saying this, then we are referring to the nominee before us.
Chair, I'm guided, very respectfully.
Nominee, may you provide your answer?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The honorable member is right that the strategic trust of the President's manifesto or the NDC's manifesto, which is an expression of intent regarding what we will do, the set of policies, and measures that we will implement when we are in power, is one to reset Ghana. Now, resetting Ghana doesn't mean taking Ghana back to factory settings. It means correcting the things that, in our experience as a nation, we've come to realize that they are deficient and they are not auguring well for our development as a country. Now, talking about the public tribunals, the honorable member will note that in terms of Article 25.1, it is provided that justice emanates from the people and will be administered in their name, in accordance by the judiciary and in accordance with the Constitution. The internal logic or internal morality.
Leonard, with respect, which article were you referring to, please?
Article 125, Clause 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana.
May you read it?
Yes, Chairman, I was trying to...
Honorable nominee, you are asked to read something without a permission coming from the chair. Please.
Very well, Mr.
Honorable Minority Leader has opened that particular provision, so I believe he will read it and satisfy himself. Proceed with your answer.
Okay. I believe he wants to lay the context for a question. So, Honorable Minority Leader.
Nominee, please follow the instructions of the chair.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Chairman.
Chairman, I don't know if Honorable Boa wants to usurp your powers. You are in the chair.
Chairman of the committee, in case you do not know.
Chairman, when we try to push, we get calls from your own side, we are in this together. I do not want to also get a certain impression that chairman, in an attempt to assert himself, would want to do things to undermine this very process. In all humility, since morning, I keep using the word, I beg you, I beg you. The nominee made reference to a constitutional provision to make a point. And I'm saying that not all of us are lawyers. Not everybody here is a lawyer. And I say, can you read the provisions and explain your point? Then you come and say, yeah, but I am here with him.
Honorable members, the question is coming from Honorable Bafo, and answers are being provided by Honorable Bafo. If Minority Leader wants to ask a supplementary question, at least he should allow the witness to complete the answer, but not to interject to say that read the constitutional provision without even the attention of the chair.
Chairman, with your leave, I pray that the nominee, as he references Article 125, he should read it in full to situate the argument rightly. Thank you so much.
Well, the nominee even quoted the 1251 verbatim, but you may go ahead and read it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Article 1251 of the Constitution, that is Clause 1 of the Constitution, says that justice emanates from the people and shall be administered in the name of the Republic by the judiciary, who shall be independent and subject only to this Constitution. I think I paraphrased it very accurately. And I was on the point that the internal logic of the laws, the PNDC laws establishing the public tribunals, was to ensure the participation of ordinary citizens in the administration of justice. And that aligns fully with the substantive content of Article 125, Clause 1 of the Constitution, because it says justice emanates from the people. In the context of Article 125, 1, the judiciary is the organ of state vested with the power to administer justice. And if the honorable nominee who asked the question, the honorable member who asked the question would care to look at Article 142 of the Constitution, which he referenced, all right? In that context, in the peculiar context of Article 142, the judiciary is defined to include the regional tribunals. What he left out is Article 142, I think, Clause 3, who says, and such other courts and tribunals as Parliament may by law establish. All right? So it creates, 142 creates the regional tribunals, which have coordinate criminal jurisdiction with the High Court, all right, in all respects. And then it says that Parliament may by law establish such courts and tribunals, that is inferior courts and tribunals, as it deems fit. Okay. Now, to the question why we want to bring back the public tribunals. We want to go back and align with the internal logic of Article 125, Clause 1, that there must be participation by ordinary people in the administration of justice. If you recall, all the tribunals, district tribunals, circuit tribunals, regional tribunals, had a chairperson or chairman and two who was mandatorily required to be a lawyer, and two other persons who were non-lawyers selected from the community. So aside the traditional jury system that allows ordinary citizens to participate in the administration of justice in a limited fashion, the PNDC, in its wisdom, broadened public participation in the administration of justice through the tribunal system. Now, you referenced a report by Africa Watch. Of course, I am familiar with Africa Watch. If you go back to my CV, you realize that I was executive director of the Center for Public Interest Law, a human rights organization that I founded and ran for 10 good years, that conducted public interest litigation and represented persons whose human rights were being violated. So if you remember the famous case of Sodom and Gomorrah, I was a lawyer for the thousands of displaced persons in Sodom and Gomorrah using the Center for Public Interest Law. And so I'm very much aware of what Africa Watch stands for, right? But look carefully at the report, the date of the report. It will let you know that the empirical evidence for the statements that were being made, if at all, was gathered not from the era of the coming into force of the Constitution, but the era prior to the coming into force of the Constitution. Now, when it comes to our...
With your leave, the document you referred to, was it Africa Watch? Human Rights.
No, but he said Africa Watch.
No, let there be clarity.
What? Yeah.
No. Mr. Bafo, please, let's repeat again the full document you referred to, because we don't want a situation whereby Africa Watch will say that they have not made any publication. What is the name?
Mr. Chair, this is not Africa Watch, the newspaper. It is Africa Watch, a human rights watch group.
Wait.
And he's aware. It's not a newspaper.
Wait. The document, is it an organization's report, or you are quoting from a publication?
It's an organization's report.
And what is the name of the organization?
The organization is Africa Watch, Human Rights Watch Group.
Okay, Leonard, then in reference to that, please quote it well. Respect.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was very much aware of the fact that it's the human rights wing of the Africa Watch, but I was just referring to it in the manner that the honorable member stated. So if you look at the date, okay, my hunch is that the empirical evidence for, a report dated very close to the first quarter of 1992 would have been from the pre-constitutional, era, when the public tribunals were administering revolutionary justice in the context of PNDC Law 1. Now, if you look at PNDC Law 1, there was no human rights chapter. That was the Grundnorm. That was the constitution, the fundamental law of the land at the time. There was no human rights chapter. In resetting Ghana, we will reset it in accordance with the 1992 Constitution. And the 1992 Constitution is very clear, that the sovereign power of Ghana rests in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government should be exercised in accordance with this Constitution. Governmental powers includes the powers exercised by the judiciary of our land. That includes the public tribunals. I believe that it is not your view, honorable member, that the public tribunals would not or are not part of the judiciary. They are part of the chapter on the judiciary. And so they will be bound by Chapter 5, the human rights provisions, and the entire Constitution, guided by the directive principles of state policy in Chapter 6. And so the proposal in our manifesto is to re-establish the regional tribunals with criminal jurisdiction that is, coordinate jurisdiction with the High Court. And then we will have the circuit tribunals in all the districts, in all the, the regions, and then also the district tribunals that will also dispense justice in the various districts of our country. And I believe that if they are being regulated, and my proposal or my thinking going into this office is that we will enact a Public Tribunals Act that will be comprehensive, and that will, contain restrictions in terms of the conduct, of the affairs of the tribunals and the human rights violations that are, referenced in the Africa Watch Human Rights report will hopefully not occur. Not under my watch as the Attorney General of this Republic.
Thank you very much, Honorable Bafo. Before you proceed with your second question, Honorable Mahama Yariga has a follow-up.
Good. Honorable Attorney General nominee, do you intend to establish tribunals that will use caning and lashing of people as one of the punishments? Do you intend?
Mr. Chairman, I do not, and that will not be permitted by the Constitution of the Republic. In fact, that will be inhuman and degrading treatment of our citizens.
Minority Leader also has a follow-up, so you may wait for your second question.
Honorable nominee, have you become aware of the establishment of the ORA?
Honorable Minority Leader, a follow-up question must relate to the preliminary questions or the substantive question asked. But this is completely unrelated to the substantive question asked. So hold it. When it comes to your turn, you can pose these
Chairman.
questions. Honorable.
Chairman, with respect, please hold your horses. Let me make a point. We are dealing with matters of public tribunal. We are talking about issues that go complementary, okay? As far as possible, from all that you've said. I am trying to appreciate the point you made in response to the question he asked, that would you set up a tribunal which would carry canes to be, chasing people here and there? You responded that no, because it will not be in accordance with law. Correct? In the same spirit, I am asking you that the ORA, that committee, which we've been told is to receive information from the public regarding supposed looting and all that. If you become aware of it, do you think that its establishment is in accordance with the Constitution?
Honorable Minority Leader, I believe the question asked relates substantially to Article 1261B. This oral that we are bringing in is not related to the establishment of the tribunal as stated in the NDC manifesto. So I reiterate the point that you can hold it. When it gets to your turn, you ask a substantive question, but this cannot be accepted as a follow-up question. Thank you very much, Honorable Leader. Honorable Bafo, proceed with your second question.
Honorable nominee.
Chairman.
So, Minority Leader, I cannot ask a member to proceed with a question, and then you ask that he should hold on. This is unacceptable. It's completely unacceptable. So, Honorable Bafo, proceed to ask your second question.
Chairman, take it easy.
Would you want to forfeit asking your second question?
Chairman, take it easy. 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 The nominee. Please, he has raised a constitutional matter that if he tribunal with canes lashing people for the Constitution, and he as AG won't do it. So I am asking, where whether or not he's become aware of the aura, and if he has become aware of the aura, its mandate is within the ambit of the Constitution. So it is flowing from the very answer he gave on the constitutionality of the functions of a publicly established body, such as a tribunal. So, Chairman, I do not see why we should be locking on this matter. But however, if you insist, I will yield to you for us to make progress. If you insist, I will yield to you for us to make.
Honorable members, I insist that the question is unrelated. Question posed to the nominee relating to the establishment of the tribunal as contained in the manifesto of the National Democratic Congress. Honorable Bafo, may you proceed to ask your second question.
Honorable nominee, the question was, what is it that the high courts, regular high courts, are not doing that you need the tribunals to cure? That, honorable nominee, I didn't hear anything. But importantly, on the question of the promise that you are not going to set up a tribunal that will cane people, honorable nominee, are you aware that there is the criminal practice and procedure of this country is regulated by statute, and that statute does not include private citizens called oral, gathering evidence which will be handed over to the Attorney General to prosecute? Are you aware that there's nothing like that in the criminal, in the statutes of this country? Are you aware? Yes or no?
Honorable members, I know the nominee is capable of answering the question. But in our Criminal and Other Offences Act, as well as the Procedure Act, committees are not stated. But, honorable nominee, may you proceed to answer the question?
Well, I'm sure the honorable member himself well knows that Act 30, the Criminal and Other Offences Procedure Act, does not create bodies, organizations, agencies, or entities that are mandated to operationalize criminal procedure. It merely lays out the procedure relating to criminal trials, whether summary trials, trial on indictment, and so on and so forth, and then relating to how you treat evidence in criminal matters. So it does not create bodies. So I would not, to your answer, there is nothing about oral in in Act 30. Now, the question whether oral is legal has been raised, by various people within the media, all right? Oral is the Operation Recover or Loot. If you look at the preamble to the Constitution, it is very, very clear about what are the fundamental values underpinning the Constitution. The value of accountability is one of the preambular commitments in our Constitution. It's a primary value. Oral is supposed to exact accountability from persons either politically exposed or persons holding public office who used or misused their office to loot public resources by way of property, money, and other intangible resources. So oral is constitutional. Oral is legal. In fact, the fact that it is a non-legal body doesn't mean that it is illegal. There's a distinction between non-legality and illegality.
Mr. Chair, please, if I may be allowed a follow-up.
Yes, you have my discretion. Before then, let me hear from Honorable Layariga.
Mr. Chair.
He's coming in on a point of information.
Mr. Chairman, if you open the Constitution to Article 41, Article 41 deals with duties of a citizen. Please, everybody listen to this. Article 41 deals with duties of a citizen. 41F says one of the duties of every citizen of this country is to protect and preserve public property and expose and combat misuse and waste of public funds and property. So if somebody forms a committee to elicit information about instances of looting of public property and waste and resources, is it not to provide an avenue for compliance with this constitutional provision? Is that not what it is?
No, we are.
And how different is this campaign from the campaign that took place recently? See something, say something. If you see looting, say it. If you see stealing, say it.
Mr. Chair, my
Honourable members, I will reiterate the fact that Honourable Ayerga, you are even not supposed to react. So observe the proceedings in silence. Honourable Ayerga, we are grateful for the point of information.
Okay,
you want to ask a follow-up question?
Before my last main question.
You are permitted to ask the follow-up question.
Mr. Chair, it is very interesting to note that notwithstanding Article 41F, the Criminal Offences and Procedure Act, Act 30, provided or has made provision for investigations, arrest, and prosecution of criminal offenses. And it still doesn't include oral or private individuals acting. But my follow-up is this. My follow-up is this. My follow-up is this.
What you've just said was a preliminary comment, but not a follow-up question.
Mr. Chair, I plead with you to indulge me in the interest of Ghana. Roxanne, you promised to protect.
Please go ahead with your last question.
Okay. So, in the year 2010, the NDC administration under Professor Mills commissioned the Constitution Review Commission that presented its report in the year 2012, for which a white paper was issued in June 2012. Hope you remember. Good. Now, you spoke extensively seeking to justify tribunals, the establishment of tribunals. At page 21 of the report of the Commission of Inquiry, of the white paper on the report of the Constitution Review Commission, at page 21, the white paper stated as follows: maintenance of regional tribunal in court structure. Government accepts the recommendation that regional tribunal be abolished and matters handled by them incorporated into the regular court schedule. Government, however, holds the view that the chairman of the regional tribunal, if any, should be absorbed into the judiciary as high court judges. This is by an NDC government. The question is that when you had previously accepted the commission's report to abolish the Commission of Inquiry, to abolish tribunals, and now you say you are bringing it back, is it not double speaking? Especially when you have also failed to provide before us what the High Court is not doing that you want to correct with the tribunal? Is it not double speaking without any justification? Dated 2012, yes.
So what is the exact date on the report?
The report.
You are referring to the white paper
I'm referring to the white paper.
The report of the Constitutional Review Commission?
I'm referring to the government white paper stating its position
Very well.
on the report.
Very well. Honorable nominee, your response.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm very much aware of the position stated by the honorable member. I was very intimately involved in the work of the Fiajo Constitutional Review Commission, which was headed by my own good friend and former colleague, whose secretary was my own good friend and former colleague, the current dean of the University of Ghana Law School, Professor Raymond Atuguba. I am also keenly aware of the fact that the government white paper accepted to abolish the recommendation of the commission to abolish the regional tribunals. However, an American justice of the Supreme Court, a justice of the Supreme Court of the US, very famous, Oliver Wendell Holmes, he once said that the life of the law has not been logic, but experience. When experience has taught us that there are deficiencies in our justice system. In fact, when the honorable nominee was talking about the honorable member, I'm sorry, I have been here since 9:30, you have to forgive me. When the honorable member was talking about delays, he's a legal practitioner and he knows that the traditional court system is also plagued with a lot of delays. You also know that sometimes they disregard the fundamental human rights of citizens. During the tenure of your own government, Afoko, Gregory, when a court of law ordered that he should be granted bail, you still callously detained him, and he's in detention now. That's a violation of the right of Gregory Afoko to liberty. So these things occur whether you are dealing with the traditional court system or a tribunal system. Okay? The good thing is to have men and women of integrity who will administer the law or administer justice in accordance with law. And that is what we are seeking to do with the re-establishment of the public tribunals. I think that our experience has taught us that the participation of ordinary citizens in the justice system is a good thing. And that is why, having thought about it, we are re-establishing it. But of course, we are governed, as I said, by a constitution, and I believe that there will be limitations to the powers of the tribunal as far as respect for the rights of persons appearing before them is concerned.
Thank you very much. I recognize Honorable Roxanne Nelson Kwame Eche Dafamapo for a supplementary question.
Chairman, thank you very much. Professor Aini, you are welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You taught me, and you taught me well. And I'm very happy that you got this nomination. Now, you're also my chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee, and I second chair you. And I know the quality that you put into your work. So you also taught me legal system. So let me clarify this. Are you actually saying that you are going to establish or create these tribunal courts, or you are going to implement the law? Because Article 142, Prof, It's very clear in the establishment of tribunals. And it says, Chairman, with your leave, Article 1421 says there shall be established in each region of Ghana such regional tribunals as the Chief Justice may determine. Now, the Courts Act, 1993, variously amended in 202 and 203, actually imported Article 142 into the Courts Act and actually added more in terms of the creation of the regional tribunals. So when the impression is created that you are going to create these court systems, I got confused. So I want to find out from you, are you going to rather implement the law, asking that regional tribunals be established, shall be established, or is going to be your creature by policy? Chairman, thank you.
Mr. Chair, on a point of order, he said that the Courts Act.
You don't have the floor.
He says.
You do not have the floor. Even at point of order, I need to give you the floor. Honorable nominee, may you proceed to answer the question?
Well, I agree with my former student that I taught him well. He's drawn a distinction that I glossed over. The tribunals are actually established by the Constitution under Article 142. Now, the Courts Act was variously amended, and sorry, Mr. Chairman, but I don't have the amendments here, but I do remember vaguely there was an attempt to delete provisions relating to the tribunals by the VCRAC committee. So if you take the compendium, the green compendium, I think that was where it was done. And the idea was to take them out, in terms of the statutory implementation. So what I would do, if Parliament gives me the nod, is to overhaul the law relating to the public tribunals by bringing a new bill that I will introduce rapidly, because the president has hit the road running, and we, his nominees and his appointees, are his, supplementary wheels. We have to help him, to run as fast as possible. So I will bring a bill that will comprehensive implementation of the letter and spirit of Article 142 of the Constitution. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Yes, you want a point of order. Is the point of order relating to the answer or the question being asked?
Mr. Chair, both. It may refer